Hey, there was something I forgot to put in that last one. So I got to rattling and getting pissed off. So, think about this for a second. I don't remember what year it was now that they did it, but when this government said people are living longer, so we got to raise Social Security benefits when you can get them, okay? People are living longer, so we're going to raise when we're going to pay them out, okay? We're also going to reduce how much you can get when you can start getting it, because you worked your ass off your whole life and you're paying into it, and that's supposed to be your protection for old age, mostly. Now, there's some son of a bitches there in Congress and in the government that say that you're just freeloading off this country for getting a Social Security check for the work you put in, but I hope that fuckers get CV, whatever. But here's the point. Who's benefiting? Okay? So, they change when you can get X amount of money. So they raised it to 70 before you can get your full benefits, okay? Now, people are living longer, and you don't see this. Maybe it's because of all the goddamn preservatives in food. Maybe that's why they're staying longer. I know medical, practices are getting better at what they do by keeping people alive longer. But that's really the big end of that, okay? So, here's the bigger picture of that, if you ask me. They raise when you can get your full benefit age, okay? Now, most people that work hard in, let's just say, blue-collar jobs where it's not in an office, it's not in a controlled environment. Most of the rest of us that are dealing with chemicals and dealing with, the terrible things that kill us anyway. And you do that job forever. And maybe you only make it to 72 because you work so hard in these shitty fucking jobs that because of the health of that job, that's maybe going to be your lifespan anyway, okay? So who's benefiting? The government, okay? Because if they raise to where you can get your full amount of money at 70, but you only live to 72, 73, then they don't have to pay past that. They get to keep it, right? Okay? I don't know why everybody isn't up in arms and pissed off about this to begin with. Okay? Now, take that information and put it with what's happening with CV. Who's it hitting the hardest? Who don't they have to pay anymore that hits the hardest? That money goes back to the government. Whatever they ain't paying is theirs. Okay? Now, I haven't looked up the numbers, but because numbers are irrelevant at this damn point. Really? How much money is that of all these older folks that get CV and go away? Really? Kind of an interesting thought, isn't it? They want you to work damn near up to where you're dead, and then they don't have to pay you shit. They get to keep it. They don't have to pay any of that back. That doesn't revert, or all of it doesn't revert to your family. It doesn't go back to your family. And if your spouse or whatever doesn't make it much longer than you, they're keeping all that too. That's what makes me crazy. But think about it. this virus is knocking off which part of the Social Security payout benefit program? Kind of some interesting thinking, isn't it? And I just wanted to add that on because I was gonna and forgot and didn't even look at my notes. But this is the shit we let them do to us. Nobody's saying anything. Why? Why hasn't somebody said something? Why is it okay? You know, I'm getting to the point where I could retire, and I'll be lucky if I make it to get full benefit, along with a lot of other people that paid. We all paid. Now these fucking congressmen and politicians and shit like that, they ain't paying. We're paying them. But they get all the big money, and then they bitch and say that anybody on Social Security is a freeloader. Pretty disgusting thinking, isn't it? It's, whose fault is that? It's ours. It's all of ours. All of ours that give a shit. You know? If you want somebody to constantly take care of you, do all the work for you, make all the money for you, so you don't have to put in your part, fuck you. Really. This doesn't have anything to do with people that have worked their whole lives and paid into it and are receiving a minuscule amount of what they ought to be getting, supporting this country on how they get treated, how I'm going to get treated, how you're going to get treated. In this fucking state, I don't know about all of them, but I think you still got to fucking pay tax on your Social Security. What kind of fucking shit is that? Really? Must be a democratic state, isn't it? Got to pay for your own medical insurance out of your Social Security. If you want anything other than just, you know, a shot here and there or minuscule things. Why'd we let them do it to us? Why isn't somebody up in arms fighting for this stuff? Corruption, I imagine. But think about it. Try and find those numbers. Leave me a comment. How many they're not paying now? Even if you took a relative number of $1,500 a month by all the ones that'll get it pass off, they ain't paying no more. And how about the difference between what it used to be, the old numbers of when you could retire and receive full benefits at an earlier age, who they ain't paying no more then either. It's not their money. It's your money. And if you ain't thinking about this while you're young, and still got years to rat hole money, it's going to get even uglier for you. And here's another thought. They keep saying Social Security is going to be broke because they keep stealing out of it. So whatever year that is, let's say it's 2035. It's going to be broke because they mismanage it. All those people behind me and my generation, maybe the generation into that one, do you think because Social Security is broke You're not going to have to pay it? So how's that going to look? So what's that look like? Does that mean you still pay out of your check for Social Security, but you will get zero fucking benefit when you retire? How are they going to make that work? Why isn't that on the fucking news? And hasn't been? And why isn't anybody in the government, upper government, doing anything about it? Even mentioning it? What are you people going to do? Most of us are working to just try to sustain what we're doing, what I call working to die. Be the tax ant. Because that's what they want. It's all the better for them if they get it all. And, you know, Social Security isn't negotiable. All that tax money that comes from the government, they take it, right? Are you smart enough to understand that? When you get your fucking check, it's after all that shit. They didn't ask you. They took it. And what happens when they're taking more and more and more to support libertarian, Marxist bullshit? They ain't going to ask your permission. They didn't ask permission before. Why would they do it then? Or now? Or any other goddamn time? But think about that for a second. The world's kind of fucked up. It really is. And really, I don't know why I found that so important and why I wanted to this may end up another video. But I don't understand. I really don't. You know? And I don't understand why I gotta keep... My brain just thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks and won't fucking shut off. I reckon it's because the ones that don't pull their weight, the ones that want to live off the government, keep getting their handouts, even if you're living off of somebody else, you don't want to pull your part and give more than you should because you're thankful to get it. Make excuses. You can change your fate. I completely believe that. You just got to put the energy towards it. Sometimes a lot of energy. Sometimes more energy than others do. But eventually, it'll be better for you, and it'll be better for your world. And I just remembered that I said something, video a couple back or whatever, and I misspoke when I was talking about, you know, what people are making with the stimulus and stuff like that. And I caught it myself after I posted the damn thing. And that was that, you know, I think I said that I make $300 a day. I don't. I make about $300 a week, $350 a week-ish, somewhere in there. Which ain't a hell of a lot, but I guess the point was there's lots of people that we're not getting the amount of money that people have been that either got laid off or laid themselves off so that they could collect those big $600 a week bonuses. And those are bonuses, people. I don't know if you understand that. So if somebody's getting on their normal unemployment, let's just use $350 a week. Okay? That means they're getting $350 plus they were getting $600 every week. Okay? Extra $600 every week. Plus they got the stimulus check too. Not saying that was a huge amount of something, but it was helpful, I'm sure, to a lot of people. It was helpful to us. And if, while on that amount of money, your boat was still sinking, and you didn't do anything about it, that's your fault. It's truly your fault. Because you might have had an opportunity. Think about this for a quick second. Not saying it'd be the first choice, or maybe even the third or fourth choice. But if you were living beyond your means to begin with, and now you're getting that kind of money, and you're not changing your fate, you're fucking stupid. Just stupid. Because if you could have went and found an apartment, moved into an RV trailer if you already had it or needed to buy one, rented a spot somewhere before they were all fucking full, even stayed at a relative's place that had some property for a little bit if you could. If you didn't do that and put that money away that you were getting for a bonus and decided to continue to barely survive, you're a fucking idiot. You're just stupid. Why would you do that? Why? Because you're so fucking hard-headed that you don't want to take any decent information from people? Because you're too fucking prideful? If you weren't doing what you could to extend a better life by moving out of that big house, by moving out of that expensive apartment, by whatever the hell it was, because it wasn't going to last forever, and it didn't, did it? You just waiting for another freeloader fucking handout so that you can keep doing that stupid cycle, not paying your fucking full dues of your rent? See, I couldn't do that. I couldn't go to my landlord if I had one, or even the bank. This motherfucking place is it's not owned by me. I'm just kind of renting it from the bank. But that's the kind of person I am. I couldn't look them in the eye and go, guess what? I can't afford it. But I'd like to stay there anyway. How do you do that? How do you do that? How does a person with clear conscience do that sort of shit? How does that person think that's okay and not look at the writing on the wall? If you know you're fucked, do something about it while you can. Quit dreaming. Get out of your fucking dreamland. That magic is going to fucking help you. That you can't keep a fucking job. Your employment history sucks. You have an opportunity to at least better yourself, but you'd rather be a fucking freeloader. You'd rather find somebody else take care of you, because that's what you always done. It's hard to have sympathy for that, at least for me. It's just hard to have sympathy for that. And if you're at a relative's place, property, if you're a son, daughter, whatever that has had to move back home because they stayed stable and you have a place to go to, You should be getting up every day being so thankful and doing everything in your power to help them out. Every day. Because it was their back that got it there. I can tell you that's how I'd be. Because it's hard for me to live off of somebody else. It really is. If I wasn't doing every damn thing I could while I was staying at somebody else's place, I don't know how I'd look at myself in the mirror. And I know there's a lot of people like me that think the same way. And if you're like that, then I appreciate you listening to the words. But there's a lot of people that don't. They can't see past the end of their fucking nose. Waiting for some kind of magic to bail them out again. I tried to say it a long time ago. You should be rat-holing money. May not be the best situation, but if you've gone from when it all first started to having a little something, having an RV, having something that at that point you could have done something about it and been able to pull some money away, put it away, and then be able to get off of whoever's supporting you so that you had some kind of a future for what was coming next. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you wouldn't fucking hear it and somebody was telling you then, excuse me, and you either ignored it or you didn't agree with it because of your pride, because you're better than that, how much better are you now? Are you better now for what you could have done? Try to look ahead. And if you didn't, I don't know what to tell you. Should I support you? Should the rest of us support you? For whatever reason. That's freeloading. And actually, I got that from my cousin. And it's not that I didn't know the word, but I'd kind of forgot it. And he was absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because really there's not a better term for it. You know. And I'm not holier than anybody else. I'm not. Job I work doesn't have insurance. I'm on my wife's insurance. This house is still paying for it. She makes more money than I do. Does that mean I'm living off of her? Maybe. As far as monetary goes. But I get up every fucking day and I do the chores and I help clean the house and I cook and I try to help make up maybe the pieces that I'm lacking that I know she can't do. She cooks. She's an awesome cook. But those things have value too. They have a lot of value. If you get up and do some things that they don't have to ask you to do, and you try to do them, there is nothing wrong with that. There's value. There's value there. And if they don't see that value in it, then that's on them, and that's a whole different thing. If they think you owe them for it, and, you know, you're already working like a dog for them, change it. Because they'll never see it. They'll never see your value. And that's from experience. Well, I hope you found something intelligent out of it. I hope the best for all of you. I do. I really, really do. I think this world is going to become something that's not what it was intended to do. But we let the snakes out of the box, and the fuckers are in this floorboards. And we got to find a way to get the floorboards up without getting bit. With that, Midgardian Workshop out.